Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and I'm proud to be able to say that I'm now the owner of a Target red card exclusive Redwing from the Transformers Siege line. And yes, I know it's another use of the Siege Seeker mold, but word has kind of come to me that perhaps, maybe, there may be a way to get this guy outside of Target, outside of the US, at least in Canada. Stick around because we're going to talk about this guy, and that way in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, that's right, man, hit that notification bell because it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up on the channel. Plus, it helps me out a ton. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors, NL, and the Autobot family, and have a look for me everywhere across social media. And this is Redwing, and I love the Seeker mold. I have made no bones about it. I think it functions tremendously well. I think it looks the part for Seekers. I dig it, man. I dig it. And I've been saying all along, if I get Redwing, great. If I don't get Redwing, great. And I was seeing him for like these crazy prices, you know, like online and in forums and stuff. And it was like, this is nuts. This is nuts. I get it. This guy's hard to get. You know, in the US even, he's exclusive to one store and you need to have a card for that store. So I consider myself very lucky that through a few people, I want to give a big shout out. I'm probably going to do this again before this review is over, to James, Chris, and Drew. All of those guys helped me to get this guy, and I'm happy to do it. I got him for retail price, so I'm cool with that. I was very lucky. Now, how well does he function? Because I mean, he looks fine, I guess. You know, we'll talk about that. But how well does he function? Is he loose? Is he solid? Is he secure? Well, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about how you might be able to get him outside of the US, at least here in Canada, when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. Another day, another Siege Seeker mold. Yes, I know. We've looked at this technically already 6 times. So what new could I have to say about it? Well, this guy is one of the more enigmatic ones. And I mentioned earlier that perhaps there's a way to get this guy other than him being a, I want to make sure I got this right again, a Target red card exclusive from the United States. That's very, very limiting. And while I might have an alternative, possibly, honestly, it's really only going to apply to Canada because this guy is hard to get. But before we get to that and him, let's do our usual, which is looking at this ridiculously boring box. There's nothing interesting about it. And we have, of course, Decepticon Redwing down there. That's about it, really. And we have great Siege instructions. I believe that's actually a picture of Redwing here because of that face, and it looks like his lower arms are dark and black like they're supposed to be. Honestly, I think the instructions for Siege and Earthrise have kind of been knocking it out of the ballpark. They've been doing a good job. Of course, my favorite aspect is the good old stats, and of course this is for a null ray, and the null ray is a pretty strong thing. And boy, oh boy, does this guy look fantastic. Now, like, Redwing is one of those, like, as I said, weird, enigmatic characters, and it really only exists because of kind of some animation errors. That's my understanding. Apparently it dates back to like BotCon 2013 with that 3-pack of the Welcoming Committee. I think a lot of us know that 3-pack by now, and somehow, some way, he was supposed to be a part of that. And I think he was supposed to be the orange guy. I think it was supposed to be Sunstorm, if I'm not mistaken. And there were some shenanigans with like Takara saying, no, you can't use the name Sunstorm. And then I think like Hotlink got moved to the Purple Jet, and somewhere Nacelle was thrown in there. Anyway, through the jigs and reels, as we say in my neck of the woods, at the end of the day, we ended up with a Red Seeker named Redwing. Also of odd note is that apparently in the Japanese version of Cyberverse, the character that we know as Thrust is apparently Redwing. I don't know. It's weird, man. It's really weird. Nevertheless, he looks really good. Now, as I said, there may be an option to get this guy outside of the US, at least in Canada. Word is, as of this recording, rumor is that he is in fact going to be coming to Toys R Us. He is in fact apparently listed on the website, but nobody as of yet has been able to actually add him to their cart to purchase him, so I don't know if it's a placeholder image for now, if it's some sort of mix-up somewhere along the way. Apparently he's going to be like a R Club exclusive. Now, I find that very interesting. Kind of rumors had it now for a little while that there's a connection between Target and Toys R Us, and a lot of things that are Target exclusives in the US are Toys R Us exclusives outside of the US, in Canada, and really any other country that still has a Toys R Us in it. I find that very interesting. I miss having Target here in Canada, but you know what? If we can kind of still get those exclusives offered via Toys R Us, I'm cool with it. Will it actually materialize and you be able to add this guy to your cart via the TRU website? I don't know, but I'm very happy and thankful I was able to score this guy for really just the retail price. Big shout out to Chris, to James, and to Drew. All three of those lads helped me to get this guy. And you know what? I know it's another use of that secret mold, but I'm okay with it because I dig it, man. The coloration, we're going to say it's a 10. What about his articulation? Well, I've always called the articulation a 10. You know, we got the head goes left and right and up and down. It's just as solid as any of the other heads. The wings can go back. They can go up and down as the wings always could. My null rays are fine on both arms here and over here. Like, if I bring them up, they'll stay forward. If I bring them back, they'll stay back. They don't feel loose. My arms go all the way out to the side as per usual. They can still go all the way around. We have the bicep swivel, we have the really deep elbow, we have the wrist swivel. We still have the hips all the way forward, and they can go back and all the way out to the side, thigh swivel. We have that super duper deep knee, we have the ankle tilt, the heel, the foot, the whole shebang that we've had all along. Everything feels fantastic on this guy. All the tolerances feel just as good as they have any other time that I have had this mold in my hand. I'm going to say that his articulation is still a 10, so we got a 10 and a 10. Here he is with his brethren, and man, I love this display. It looks uniform, it looks fantastic. Honestly, I know a lot of people have experienced different tolerance issues with different copies of the mold. My chest on Starscream is fine, really. My chest on all of them is fine. I guess I'm lucky in that regard because I know it has popped off for a few people. The null rays on all of mine are good, but admittedly on the Rainmakers they're slightly, I'm not gonna say loose. It depends on where you have them positioned. It's almost like peg isn't perfectly round, so it's loose in certain positions, but it's tight in others. It's a bit strange, but like none of them have the null rays fall out, so it's not that loose. Besides that, all other tolerances are fantastic. Redwing is as dandy as any of them. Since we're here though with this entire squadron like this, we could also change out our boy Starscream, and I don't know how you think he looks with this group. He's definitely a little bit smaller, which I guess makes sense since he's 6 grams lighter. I don't know. It's been a lot of debate. I mean, both Starscreams are good. I personally prefer the Siege, but if you prefer the Earthrise, great, dandy. I feel like the Earthrise mold for me will just end up being for the cone heads, assuming that they're going to be done since it's been confirmed that they're being done. At least Thrust has been confirmed. I assume because the other two are on Skyling's packaging that it's pretty much a lock that we're getting the cone heads from this mold. And while it's better than the classics, I really don't think it's as good as the Siege. That's just me, man. That's just me. The transformation is exactly what you would expect it to be, with the same strengths and weaknesses that this mold has always had. I think it's a good transformation. Is it perfect? No. I acknowledge that there's a chest issue, but I'd rather it pop off than have like paint scrape off of it or risk breaking tabs or anything. So, because at least if it pops off, you can just pop it back on, man. If you're really so inclined, the entire jet part can, because of a friction hinge, really come off, so you can kind of get a truer Tetrajet if you want to separate the jet part from the robot. A couple of little tolerance issues here and there, but the thing is solid. It stays together very well. I said before for other copies of the mold that it's a 7.5. It's a 7.5 here. The Siege Seeker mold has always been, basically for me, an overall score of about a 9. It's a great iteration of the Seekers. This is still a 9, and here he is again with his brethren. And I love this. I love everything about this. If I was to pick out the best tolerance from all 7, I would say it is Thundercracker. Everything works perfectly smoothly, 100% on him, at least on my copy of him. All of these guys have had custom paintwork done on them, except for one. If we go back and look at the Rainmakers, those 3 lads are in the back. I looked at them in episode 605. You can see what I did in terms of their paint applications. There, I did do some custom work on those guys. I looked at Thundercracker in episode 609, and of course you can see what I done custom on him. The one that I customized the most is Skywarp, who I looked at in episode 590. Now, besides for the custom work I did in episode 590, since then, thanks to a good friend of the channel, Event Progenitor and Toy Hacks, I have added to him some stickers as well as this fin piece. So Skywarp has the most customization out of anyone. I looked at Siege Starscream in episode 545. The one who has no custom paintwork is the one we're looking at here, Redwing. I don't even mind the battle damage on him. I think it works. And just since we happen to have Earthrise Starscream here, that's how they look with him. I looked at Earthrise Starscream as he compares to the Siege Starscream very recently in episode 668. So at the end of the day, what can I say? He had a 10 for articulation, he has a 10 for paint, because I think that the red and the black and the white look great. I even think the battle damage looks great. And the transformation is still about a 7.5. It's the exact same as we've always had. Overall, he's about a 9. It's a great Seeker use, and I never had any attachment to the character of Redwing, but I'm not going to complain about adding him to my collection. And here we are once again, and here he is, and you know what? I guess I should peg that in. I love this guy. I like the red, the black, the white. There's more paint here than I anticipated that there was because of that white. The battle damage is what it is. I don't really feel a need to take it off this guy. I don't find it overpowering, probably because it's a more muted color against the red. I didn't add any lines here because, honestly, he is Redwing. He should just have red wings. I didn't feel a need to do any of that. Even the silver on his arms, yeah, I guess you could do it black, but I don't really feel a need to do that either. I like the guy. If you like the Siege mold, this guy's great. If you don't like the Siege mold, you're not going to like this guy. We saw him in comparison to the Earthrise mold. I've talked about it before on which one I prefer. I mean, you guys can make your own choices and decisions about that. They're both good. There's no real wrong answer. But for Redwing, like, great. It's great that he's a Tetrajet. We've never seen him in the cartoon, really, so I guess it's fine. He's a Tetrajet. Why not? I don't know. I like him. I really do. I think he turned out well. The whole Toys R Us listing, I've seen it. I've seen it myself. I've seen the whole add to cart button. I've seen people complain and say when they try to add it to cart, as of this recording, that it's not working. I don't know if it will. I assume it will, but it looks like it's going to be coming after much delay to Toys R Us in Canada. It's going to be an R Club exclusive, so you would need an R card. I think a lot of people in Canada, though, that are Transformers fans probably already have that. If you don't, hey, it might be worth getting just to get Redwing if you're down for it. Outside of Canada and Toys R Us, and outside of the US and Target, and both of those having card exclusives, I don't know how widespread this guy will be. I don't think he's worth paying exorbitant amounts for. That's crazy. But he's definitely a nice addition if you can get your hands on him for a regular retail price. Let me know what you think of Redwing. I assume most people would say, hey, he's fine if you like Siege, or no, he stinks if you don't like Siege. I mean, it is what it is, right? You know, I appreciate you guys coming by, give me some of your extremely valuable time. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, because it helps me out a ton. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, there is a donate link down in the description. Don't forget, somehow, some way, each and every day, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live shows, on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres of The Old Fashioned Way, man, right here inside the videos.